First of all, I would like to give my gratitude for inviting me to give the presentation here in the ASNA convention. Like most of you, I think most of participants here are neurologists. I'm also a neurologist from Indonesia, and I also did interventional neurology training here in Vietnam under the supervision of Professor Keng. 6 months in Ho Chi Minh City and 6 months in Can Tho in SIS Hospital. Now I would like to give the overview about mechanical thrombectomy for acute ischemic stroke in Indonesia. This is my outline of the presentation. First of all, I would like to give the information about how is the stroke burden in my country. Indonesia, according to the data from last year, is the largest population country in Southeast Asia. We have 37 provinces in more than 17,000 islands, and we have nearly 2,080 million people. And regarding stroke or cerebrovascular disease are one of the most common disease in our country regarding the data from the national insurance. And this is the burden of stroke in Indonesia. The prevalence continue to increase from the last registry in 2007. We have 8.3 per thousand people, and then increase by 10.9 per thousand population in 2018. And then stroke also the most cause of death, number one cause of death, and also disability. And the death rates of stroke consist of 21.12% of total deaths, the most compared to other disease, including cardiac disease. And the stroke healthcare cost in Indonesia also reached about 2.5 trillion Indonesian rupiah, around 200 million US dollar. As Dr. Le Mintang presented before, the burden of stroke caused by the blockade of the vessel in the brain, it will cause the neuronal loss and also synaptic loss, and this will cause thousand, million, and billion of neuronal injury in our brain. And because of that, actually, the mainstay treatment is revascularization, but usually we are fail to do the revascularization because the delay of the treatment. And regarding the treatment of acute ischemic stroke, we also know that there are 5 mainstay treatment with good quality, good evidence base, from intravenous thrombolysis and then stroke thrombectomy. And for malignant infarction, we have to do the compressive craniectomy. And then after that, don't forget to give the secondary prevention, either antiplatelet or anticoagulants. And also, we are advised to do the stroke care in the stroke unit. And about the mechanical thrombectomy, I think this slide also have presented by the previous speaker. We have 5 landmark trials, and also adding by the next 2, diffuse trial and also DAWN trial, which give us the information that mechanical thrombectomy is very beneficial in acute ischemic stroke, especially in large vessel occlusion. And because of that, many guidelines have stated that mechanical thrombectomy is very recommended, especially in patients with large vessel occlusion, from AHA-ASA guideline from US, and also this is the guidelines from the ESO, European Stroke Organization, also stated that intravenous thrombolysis plus mechanical thrombectomy is very recommended with patient with large vessel occlusion. And both treatment should be performed as soon as possible after the patient arrives to the hospital. And then in the case where the patient arrive late in the hospital, but still before 24 hours, the mechanical thrombectomy can be performed with, but before they have to do the perfusion imaging. they have to do the CT perfusion or MR perfusion to prove that there are still penumbra in the brain which can be saved by the thrombectomy. And this is the condition of mechanical thrombectomy in our country. Actually, mechanical thrombectomy also advised by our national guideline of stroke management in 2019. The same recommendation as the AHA-ASA guideline and also European Stroke Organization guideline, which stated that mechanical thrombectomy and intravenous thrombolysis should be performed in the patient who came early in the hospital, less than 6 hours. But for the patient who came after 6 hours but less than 24 hours, we can do CT perfusion or MR perfusion to before we conclude that this patient is beneficial or not for doing mechanical thrombectomy. And actually, our country, Indonesia, as many Southeast Asian nations, have the challenges in stroke treatment. The first of the challenge of stroke treatment in my country is the distribution of facility. The distribution of CT brain, cath labs, and also MRI is uneven, mostly concentrated in cities in Java Island. And the number of stroke-ready hospitals and also hospitals with stroke care unit is still limited in my country. And then the other problem is the number of stroke professionals, including neurologists, interventional neurologists, nurses, and physiotherapists, is not evenly distributed, and then not certain that they have competency in stroke care ability. And we also face the delayed treatment of acute ischemic stroke in emergency room. And also one of the major issue is the payment by the government insurance is still very low for the stroke, including for interventional stroke treatment. According to the data, 6 years ago, I think the rate of thrombectomy is very, very low in my country, but currently we move to make a very good system. We have a collaboration with the Ministry of Health, and then we try to increase the number of hospitals who can perform the thrombectomy service. According to the last year data, only 19 hospitals, but I think in this year and also in the next years, there will be more hospitals who can perform mechanical thrombectomy in Indonesia. And also the Ministry of Health have the stratification of stroke network hospital in Indonesia. We divide stroke hospital into mid-level hospital, major hospital, and comprehensive hospital who can give all the stroke services, including mechanical thrombectomy. And then this is the plan for mechanical thrombectomy in Indonesia. We initiate the plan here. We initiate the plan in 2023 this year with the goal and objectives to increase the number of neurointerventionalists actually who perform interventional neurology in Indonesia is neurologists and also neurosurgeon and also interventional radiologists. We also try to ensure the adequate cost coverage for government, and thankfully that from this year, the payment for the mechanical thrombectomy increased from our national insurance. And then the massive stroke education for the society is one of our goals. And then also we are trying to implement government stroke program so that the number of hospital, the number of resources who can support the stroke program, stroke care in Indonesia will be increased. And then we also join with MT 2020. This is the Mission Thrombectomy program from Society of Vascular and Interventional Neurology. And this is our team in Indonesia, including neurologists who work in various hospitals. And I also included in this regional committee. Now I would like to share one case is about thrombectomy in my hospital. Actually, I work in government hospital, university hospital, which is the academic hospital, the national referral hospital, which have around 900 beds. And then we are also have around 3 or 4 cath labs, but the operating cath labs is maybe only 3 because of the problem of human resource, especially the interventional nurse who are limited. This is my case. We found a male with 55 years old with right side weakness and speech difficulty, admitted to the emergency room 3 hours after the onset. And then from the neurological exam, we found that the patient have the aphasia and also gaze deviation of the eye. And he also suffered from hemiparesis, severe hemiparesis, nearly hemiplegic. And then after that, the cord stroke activated, and MRI and also the MRA brain performed to the patient. This is the result of the MRA. We see that there is MCM1 occlusion on the left side. And then after that, we perform thrombolysis, intravenous thrombolysis. And after the thrombolysis, we send the patient to the cath lab. And then we prepare the devices for the thrombectomy. And this is the DSA, diagnostic angiography in the cath lab. Okay, we also found the same result from the MRA. We see the MCA M1 occlusion, and then we perform thrombectomy, and this is the result of thrombectomy. The vessel is open, and this is the clot that we retrieve from these cases. And after the treatment, after the interventional thrombectomy, then the patient do the medical treatment and also rehabilitation, and he was discharged with the MRS1. And we also try to make some publication regarding the endovascular treatment in my hospital. We found that some cases we have bleeding complication after a thrombectomy, and then we try to analyze. We found that the hypertension, internal carotid artery occlusion, and also the thrombolysis before the thrombectomy is several factors who affect the complication of intracranial hemorrhage after thrombectomy. And as the conclusion, stroke in Indonesia, as in many countries, still the main problem, and the evidence-based management of acute ischemic stroke includes intravenous thrombolysis, and then mechanical thrombectomy, antithrombotic, decompressive cranectomy, and stroke unit care. Mechanical thrombectomy is very recommended as best management of acute ischemic stroke of large vessel occlusion, and can be performed within 24 hours with certain criteria following the Dawn and DEFIS 3 trials. And the mechanical thrombectomy challenges in my country is we are trying to increase the number of hospitals that have adequate facilities and human resources in each area or provinces to reduce the stroke mortality and also disability. Thank you very much for the opportunity.